Joining me today is Shaquanna Chappelle, and she is an executive presence consultant. So obviously we're going to be talking about how to look confident, feel confident, and dress for success. But before we get into it, I must give Shaquanna a moment to shine and you tell us more about yourself, anything you'd like us to know. And thank you so much for being here with me today. Take it away.
Hey everyone, I'm Shaquanna Chappelle, and I just truly believe in women showing up with confidence and showing up with power, because I know once I remove my insecurities, my self-limiting thoughts and beliefs and things that just were really impacting how I felt for myself, once I removed all of that, I began to see myself really in like God's perfect image of myself. And I like to help other women feel that exact same way. So I do that with various things. I am a wardrobe stylist for professional women. So I work with professional women who are constantly in spaces where they need to show up with confidence. They need to command the room. They need to make a statement, but they just don't know how to put together an outfit. They don't know how to shop, or they don't know how to purge their closet or things like that. So I do wardrobe styling and also, like you mentioned, executive presence consultant and a coach. Kind of just, and I know we'll talk about my journey in a minute, but I kind of just fell into that. That wasn't a part of the original plan, but it makes sense because I'm very passionate about, as someone who came from a corporate background, I'm very passionate about women, especially Black women, having that confidence is showing up in an authentic way as they lead, as they grow in their career. So I do a lot of coaching of professional women to help them define their executive presence. And also I do a lot of speaking in corporate spaces as well. So it's funny, I left corporate, but I go back to corporate to speak and share my expertise about how to really create an executive presence for yourself. And also, in addition to that, I'm an author, a self-published author. So it'll be almost 5 years ago, I wrote this book, Get Up and Get Dressed. It's a women's guide to looking and feeling powerful according to God's image. This book is kind of like that starting point for women where they want to eliminate any self-doubt, any of those insecurities, so they can really push forward.
Yes, you've left corporate and you've gone back, but now you're in full control of your relationship with corporate. What was your journey, your transition from employee to entrepreneur? When did you start your business? Was it a side hustle? Tell us all the things.
Yeah, I never thought in a million years this would be me. You know, I grew up, I'm a millennial, so I grew up with, or I was raised by boomer parents, baby boomer parents or whatever, where they told me and ingrained in me from when I was little, go to school, get the good job, work there for 30 years, and then you retire, and then you live your life. And I knew early on that was not me. That was not me. So my background professionally, what I majored in and what I worked in the corporate was in IT. And I think because I was exposed to just a lot of technology and the capabilities of technology, I knew, I was like, no, the world is advancing. I don't have to be here. There's a whole bunch of other things I can do and make work for myself. So I started my career after college, moved around a bit with a couple of jobs. And a couple of years, or a few years, I would say, after I started my corporate career, my corporate journey, I had got laid off. And that was the waking point, as we all know, that, you know, when you're laid off, one, more than likely you could get hired in another department at the same company, or you could just put your resume out there, get another job, blah, blah, blah. But when I got laid off, I said, oh, wait a minute, this ain't what it's supposed to be. Because I was thinking, you know, because at that time I had got married, we built a house, I was excelling in my career, and I was like, oh, good, I'm checking off all the boxes. But that layoff was a wake-up call to say, no, Shaquanna, this isn't your true purpose. This isn't what I had, that God was telling me, this isn't what I really set out for you. Now it's time to buckle up and get started. So I just remember feeling so unworthy, so rejected from being laid off. And I remember just sitting still, like God was saying, just sit still. And I sat still and I was able to actually hear him. And I was like, well, God, what do you want me to do? And by this time, I had got another position within the company, but I was just like, this ain't it. Like that was a wake up call for me. And he said, start a prom drive. like a prom dress drive. Collect prom dresses, give them to a local high school. And I'm like, okay. That was when I started my journey of helping young ladies feel confident. That's when the whole confident piece started. I started prom drive. It did not go exactly how I wanted it to go, but I did it. I always believe done is better than perfect. I did it, and it set me up from the next step. The next step after that, God wanted me to turn into a nonprofit. So I started working in a nonprofit. And all this I'm still doing with my 9 to 5. I had moved to another company by this point, and I started doing some programming with mentoring young ladies and things like that. And so then that gave me the confidence. Like with my nonprofit, a lot of the young ladies and a lot of women will always say, "Oh, Shaquanna, this is so helpful for me." Where really the nonprofit was helping me build confidence in myself to say, you can do whatever you don't have to be stuck
Girl.
in that 9 to 5. You can do the things that matter to you, and you can make money from it. Point blank period. So I started my styling business 2018, and that took a lot of trial and error because I didn't necessarily go to school for it, but I was gifted with it, and I knew that very early on. It's funny, as soon as the pandemic hit, my business took off running. Like that's when I was really starting to make a profit. In 2021, I said, you know what? I mean, because I was seeing it, and I had worked over the years on, the business acumen, how to run the business, how to really set it up. I had put in the years of building up my brand, and the demand was there. So I was like, let me just bet on myself. Let me bet on myself and see what I can do. And I remember God telling me, He woke me up out of my sleep. And He does that when He really wants to get into me. If I'm not obeying, He's like, oh, I'm going to disrupt your sleep and I'm going to wake you up. And I remember He woke me up. He said, I need you to leave your job so I can do what I need to do in your life. Just to be transparent, this is also during the time that I was really yearning and praying for a child. To get pregnant and have a child as well. So, but it didn't click at that point. But so end of 2021, November 2021, I left my job, my corporate job. And by this time I was a manager. I was leading a global team. And it's so funny because I wanted to leave my job years before, but I'm so glad I stuck with it because I gained a lot of skills and knowledge that I now use in my business. I'm talking about executive presence. I'm talking about building leaders where I wouldn't necessarily have the real experience in doing that. And then of course, naturally, I know as business owners, your business is going to evolve. So I still do wardrobe styling, but the executive presence piece has been the main thing. And I love it because we're diving deeper into, how to really feel confident, how to really show up as yourself in these corporate spaces where you're the only one that look like yourself. So we were able to tackle the style piece, but now let's tackle the inner piece as well.
Hey, this is perfect. I like where you left off because I love a good segue. And you talked about, yes, you're an image consultant, presence consultant, all that, those wonderful terms. And you went on your own journey to building your confidence. And it does start from within. So for the professional woman that's tuned in right now and she's feeling a little bit stuck, or she's in a rut, or she wants to be able to show her personality more at work, or stand out more, get noticed. Maybe there's a promotion, whatever the case might be, but she really wants to work on herself, doesn't know how or where to start. How much do you feel when you say like you're a presence consultant? Is it, and you start from within, how much of it is that like your wardrobe? Like, how do you get them to that point of like, you feel like this, but girl, you need to show up like this, and here's what we're going to do?
Yeah. It's so funny because I like to tell people I'm not your typical fashion stylist. You have those celebrity stylists who like show up with a rack of clothes and tell you, no. Because what I find is the clothes and the shopping, that's the fun part. That's the icing on the cake. We got to dig here first. And that's the journey that I take my clients through, especially my executive presence coaching clients. I take them through the journey of becoming more self-aware. What are your values? What are those life experiences that really shaped how you view yourself and how you view life in general? What are the opportunities that you are taking and seeking that align with your values, align with who you truly are. Because that's the thing. For so long, we have worked so hard to be what other people want us to be. And we lost sight of who we are. And so you have to do that inner work to find out, okay, Shaquanna, this is what I value. This is what inspires me. This is what lights me on fire. This is what I want to do. Life is too short to be living, based on other people's standards. Life is because that's how I was. Like, the standard that was placed on my life was work on this computer, on these technology projects for majority of your life. And I didn't mention this, but my mother passed away when she was only 33 years old. She passed away from breast cancer. Because of that life experience, it shaped how I view our time here on earth, because she passed away so young. So for me, I'm always life is too short. Go do it. Go, so like, I like to take a risk. Really start with reflecting. We're so busy nowadays, we don't never put aside time to do that. Reflect on who you are, what do you value the most, what your purpose is. And this may be, you may need to sit with God for a while. This may be, you may need to go sit by, tune out the husband, the kids, or whoever, and just really reflect on that. And then from there, you want to start developing your confidence and belief in yourself based on that, based on who you are authentically. You have to teach yourself or train yourself to be confident in who that person is. That's going to help you show up confident and authentic. That's where you start, because once you do that, you're going to start showing up authentically, like I mentioned, showing up with confidence, showing up unapologetic. And once you learn how to do that, then you'll be like, oh, okay, I'm going to wear this. I'm going to wear this loud leopard print blouse and these yellow earrings. So what? Because that expresses who I am. I probably never would have wore this in corporate. Never. But I'm very confident in myself now. I've gone through that journey, the same journey I take my clients through, where I'm like, this is who I am. This is how I express myself.
A woman who her self-esteem might have taken a couple shots over the years. It might not necessarily just be at work, but I mean, as much as we try to compartmentalize, or that's what we're told to do, when we walk through that door to go to work, you're in this zone for the next 8 hours or however long. But she's listening to you, or she's watching you, and she can feel, because I can feel your confidence, and you're exuding this confidence. And she wants to be there. She wants to feel like that. She wants to show up unapologetically. Are there certain questions that she needs to ask herself and dig a little bit deeper? Ask the hard questions. Like, how would she get to the point where she's like, this is who I am. This is how I'm going to show up. This is what I'm wearing. Take it or leave it.
I actually walk my clients through a set of questions to help them dig deep. One of the things that you have to realize is your life experiences, whether they're good or bad, have shaped you and like I said, kind of has you thinking differently about life. And those experiences are maybe some of the same experiences that knock your self-esteem down, right? But you're going to have to ask yourself, what are those life experiences? One, what did I get from that? Or what did I lose from that? And like you said, having those honest conversations, having those conversations with yourself to say, you know what, maybe this is the role I played it in. Not to say that that's the case, or this is what I gained from it, or because of this experience, this is why I don't like X, Y, and Z. Ask yourself what makes you happy, what makes you feel fulfilled, but also ask yourself what makes you mad. What makes me mad? What makes me angry? What do I value the most? What inspires me? What does success look like for me? That's big too. That's big, because we've been fed this image of what success is, and that is not the case for everyone. So you have to define that for yourself. And once you define all of that for yourself, that's when you're like, okay, this is what I can do. And then also affirm yourself. I'm big on affirmations. I tell myself affirmations. One of my favorite affirmations is I am safe, because anxiety be running rampant sometimes. And I just have to remind myself, I am safe. Shaquanna, you are safe. You are safe. You are safe. And I keep saying it over and over again, so I believe it. So if you are struggling with your self-esteem, you're not loving yourself, you're struggling with how you value yourself, and you look at yourself, you're going to have to affirm, and you're going to have to use that to combat how you're feeling, that negative thought. So whatever that negative thought is, turn it around, flip it around to being the opposite and make that an affirmation. So if you are struggling with self-esteem, low self-esteem, and one of the negative thoughts you always get is, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough for this job. I'm not good enough for this relationship. I'm not good enough to start a business, a side hustle. You need to flip that and say, I am worthy and valuable enough to have every opportunity I want that comes my way. I am enough. I am enough, period. That's all you have to, continue to do. It doesn't happen overnight. As much as we were taught certain things, you have to take the same amount of time, and sometimes even more time, to unlearn everything that you were taught, to unlearn everything that the enemy planted in your mind just based off of certain life experiences. So you have to do the work. That's the key takeaway. You have to do the work. And if you are struggling with the work, get help. Therapy. I'm a huge advocate for therapy. I love my therapist. Therapy, talking to a trusted friend, whatever you feel safe doing, right?
So it's so easy for us to commit to others, or to say yes to others, and to accommodate others, and to do for others. And even in the corporate, the 9 to 5 setting, I will always say to my clients, you can say yes to yourself, your side hustle, the same way you show up and say yes to your boss. I understand you have a job description. I understand that there's certain expectations and certain requirements of you, but you should have certain expectations and requirements of yourself. And if you know that you want to feel better, you want to be in that place where you can walk in and feel and exude this Shaquanna confidence, then you're going to have to put in the work. It's like you said, it doesn't happen overnight, but something's got to give. Something, you have to make that decision for yourself.
Yeah, and I would say too, on the flip side of things, now that I am full-time in entrepreneurship, the same way goes where it's like, you gotta treat your business with the same seriousness as you did with your 9 to 5. You wanted to show up on your 9. You made sure you showed up early or showed up on time. You weren't late for work. Same thing with your business. Don't be late. Like, so it's vice versa. I think over the years there's been kind of like this silent battle between 9 to 5 entrepreneurs. 9 to 5, leave your job, or you can leave your job, and then you got entrepreneurs talking negatively about people that are 9 to 5s. When really, we got to learn how to work them together. It's all the same thing, essentially. It's just you got to use your skills to work together.
Not everybody is meant to be an entrepreneur. Not everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, which is why it's still important for you to come on and talk about how you help professional women show up in that corporate setting, because they will still get absolute value. We still need to show up. We still need to show up for ourselves. We still need to feel good about ourselves, be it employee, entrepreneur, a little bit of both. But yeah, I can go on and on and on about this, because I will never knock the 9 to 5 life. That's where I started. That's where I realized, hey, I really love coaching. I really love supporting people, making people feel better. I've been helping them to excel, and I was able to leverage those skills. So my 9 to 5 helped me. We need to define our own path. And like you pointed out, defining what success looks like for you. So, hey, if you want to be in that corporate setting, but you want to be, I don't know, taken more seriously, or there is some promotion coming up, or there's a new role that you want to be able to apply for, and it takes a lot of confidence in order for you to be able to do that and to feel a certain way, then let's get to it. So so now we're getting to like the fun part, right? So you're working on them. Do you give them homework? Is it like once you're coaching them, you're going through, they're asking, you ask them certain questions, I send them off and say, all right, you work on this. We'll come back next session. We'll talk about whatever. Next call, we'll talk about whatever. I'm basically wanting to get to the part about like the wardrobe piece, and like how you get, you factor that in, or just how you see that transformation from the woman that came to you knowing I could do better than this and I need the support, I need your support, to the woman when she's done the work and the homework that you have assigned her? That whole journey from the reflection to the redressing.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful experience. It really is. And that is what, woo, like I get, warmth within me. That is just, it makes it all worth it, and it's so fulfilling. So yeah, we do that internal work. And usually during that time, because I think one of my clients was like, "Girl, I gotta give you a bottle of wine after I just unpacked everything," because it's literally a therapeutic experience. It really is. And so once you unpack a lot of the things and address them, then it's like, okay, now let's reframe some things. Let's reshape them, pack it up in a way that's more authentic to you. And yes, homework is key. I give them activities to do that will get them out their comfort zone, but it's really eye-opening, really a game changer for them to do. And so once they do that and they actually see it and they're like, oh, okay, I can do this. I got it. I got it. Now it's like, okay, let's talk about the clothes now. Let's do that part or whatever, right? It just depends on the client and their specific situation. I've had some clients who are like, oh, nope, I need you to do it from the ground up. I need you to purge my closet. I need you to shop, etc. But then you have like one of my most recent clients, she had already been working on her wardrobe. So now when we got to this point in our journey working together, it was more so, hey, this is what I've done. This is what I have evolved to. Help me kind of fine tune it, make sure it's good, things like that. So when we get to that image part, it's all about making sure, yes, you want to shop for the cute clothes. We're all about the cute clothes, but making sure it's expressing who you are, expressing your personality. It aligns with your personal style. Personal style is all about you as a person, who you are. And that's why that internal work is necessary from the beginning anyway. I need to make sure that your style reflects who you are, reflects your personality, reflects the current position you're in, but most importantly, your next level. Because I work with a lot of powerful women. I love them to death. A lot of ambitious women who are like, I'm here, but I'm trying to get here. I'm like, okay, well, let's dress for the next level, because it's all about your personal branding and people are watching you now. So how can you show up in a way that reflects the level of where you're going or where you're seeking or aiming? So I do take them through the journey of the whole shopping thing. We'll get your profile together. I have like a tool I use for your style profile. A lot of it has been a lot of virtual shopping, because honestly, I'll say probably about 90% of my business is virtual. So I do a lot of virtual shopping for them, putting together their own digital closet. They're able to pick pieces that they want to add to their wardrobe, and I help them put together various looks, and then they get to just go out and wear them. So I get a lot of them who go to conferences and wear these different outfits, or go to interviews and wear these different outfits. And it just really, I'm so proud of them. I'm proud of them for taking the step to say, hey, I need to do something different. My life isn't what I want it to look like. I need to take action to making it look like how I see myself and how God sees me. And so when they take that step, they're investing time, money, all types of resources in it to see them do that internal work and have it reflect externally. It's kind of like my way of helping or planting a very small seed and like creating the next Michelle Obama or the next Kamala Harris. Like, you need more powerful Black women. This is what I'm doing to help with that. but that's kind of the journey at a very high level. Of course, there's like a lot of nitty gritty details, but at a high level, we take you through that journey.
Digging, you've done the work. You're feeling confident. You want to show up more confident. Let's go shopping. Or they come in kind of thinking, I know I've hired you describe yourself as executive presence consultant. I think wanting to describe you as that wardrobe style, all of that. So they just feel like they're going to come in and you're going to help them just from right off the bat, go shopping, find a few items, make them feel good. Like one of those TV shows where like in an hour, although they've edited down weeks into days and into 1 hour, are they coming in thinking all I have to do is buy new clothes and I'll feel good?
When it comes to my executive presence coaching, no. So I still do wardrobe styling, but still within that process. I'm still getting to know you a little better. I still want to figure out what you're struggling with. A little bit internally, but a lot externally as well. What are you nitpicking about your body? Like, I'm still doing a lot of that work, and I'll do the shopping for them. But a lot of those clients have even said, "Oh wow, Shaquanna like really pulled a lot out of me. That's good. That helped me build my confidence." So the wardrobe styling piece, it is quicker and it is more straightforward. The executive presence, though, is going to have the longer lasting benefit, in my opinion, because that's going to really take you through the journey of
Okay. You
feeling
hear
confident.
presence consultant, you hear style, you hear wardrobe, you're thinking it's just going shopping and buying your clothes. So it's wonderful to know that you coach them through. There's a process, there's a journey. They have to evolve. They have to like essentially come into their own, define their own success, and define who they are, who they want to be, the
Yeah.
person they want to be seen or perceived as, in order to then say, all right, I'm going to be able to show up confidently. And I love that you also mentioned that they wear these outfits to conferences or to interviews. It's not just women thinking, I'm just going to dress nice and show up to work. And, that manager and that department that I hope to be a part of will see me. There's more to it outside the office. Again, getting outside of that box that we're in when we're in corporate. And it's like you're helping them to think outside the box of the person they were told they were supposed to be, to really kind of come into their own. So to look confident, feel confident, dress for success.
Exactly.
Basically what Shaquanna is saying, there's a lot more work than walking into a store, buying a few pretty items, getting some new makeup or whatever, putting something together, and you'd feel like the next day or the next week you're going to show up and everything will be great. You got to work on yourself. Confidence, of course, comes from within, as cliche as it sounds. And yes, someone like Shaquanna can help you on this journey and support you and pull those things out of you. But it really is about you committing to yourself and committing to this journey. And as I mentioned, I like a good segue. So, you said 90% of your client base is virtual. So basically, since you do these digital closets and stuff, you can work with people from all over the world. So what do you have going on? What do you have coming up? What should people know about Shaquanna Chappelle?
Yes, definitely. I have worked with clients in different countries and stuff, and it's so fun. As far as what I have going on, it's really the executive presence coaching, having my clients. I've really been laser focused on them the past year or so, just helping them to become confident and authentic leaders as well. So doing and really digging deep into that work as from a coaching client relationship has really been beneficial in all parts. Also, of course, my wardrobe styling clients, I love them. They're the ones who got me out of corporate. So I love the wardrobe styling piece. It is a lot more to it than just picking out an outfit, but who can deny it is very fun. So still doing my wardrobe clients, and all this information is on my website. If you go to shaquannachappelle.com, you can find where you can work with me as far as the styling piece. You can also find there where you can engage with me as a potential speaker as well. So I do a lot of speaking at different corporations or professional conferences and events, talking about executive presence, talking about your professional image. So if anyone out there would love to have this topic brought to your organization or your department or your employer, I'm definitely open to having a conversation about that.
And you can bring this topic to various corporate settings. So you said, being a child of boomers, you never thought you'd kind of venture out on your own. Did you ever think you'd Did you always dream of being a speaker and showing up?
No, I was so shy as a young girl. I was so shy. I barely talked, and I was always kind of guarded. And I always thought growing up that I didn't have a story worth sharing. It's kind of like, well, that's because God was still writing the story, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I just always felt like I ain't got nothing to share. Like, let me just go ahead and get this job or whatever. But I realized I have a lot to share. I have been blessed with a lot of wisdom, a lot of encouraging words, a lot of empowerment capabilities. And I love, love, love to share, to speak. Corporate help build my confidence as a speaker. So again, we're going back to,
Yes.
don't just think that, oh, I'm just at this job. No, you're learning things when you're there. No, I never thought I would be doing this.
Especially after being laid off, that you felt a little bit rejected, dejected, had to really pull yourself through that. And I asked that question because there is most likely at least one person tuned in that is thinking that she could never get on a stage, or she could never do a podcast interview. Or I was just recently having a conversation with a friend, and she's like, I'm having a really hard time recording on camera. And it was just her sitting there, with her phone. Like there's levels to it, right? And it can get so much deeper. So never say never on you and your journey and your confidence and your self-esteem and just how you show up for yourself. We'll keep saying that, how you show up for yourself. And the sky really is a limit. It really is about thinking outside that box. And this is why we vibe, because I will continue to challenge the status quo. I will wear the purple lipstick, and you're going to get this quirky personality. I am who I am, and take it or leave it. Right. So
I love it.
Before I let my guests go, I guess I can let you go. But before I absolutely do, I love to ask my guests for a nugget. Do you have something that you can share with us today to wrap up this beautiful conversation that we had about looking confident, feeling confident, and dressing for success?
Well, I always like to say when it comes to dressing, I always say dress to highlight, not to hide. Highlight the areas you love. A lot of times we'll for example, if you don't like your stomach area, you'll wear like baggy clothes or whatever. But when you're doing that, you're really kind of shrinking yourself. Like you're not really dressing in a way that highlights you. I like to flip that and relate it to life and into your confidence as well. Approach yourself, approach life with the things that should be highlighted, with the things that are positive about you. Always bring that out. Those strengths that you have, always hone in on those. Do not hide. Do not shrink yourself. That is how you are reducing your confidence. That is how you're falling into that box that people like to put you in, because when you're not confident and when you have low self-esteem, people can see that and they feed off of that, and then they want to put you in the box. But that's not where you were not born to be put in a box. You were born in God's perfect image, to kind of tie it all together, what I was saying at the beginning. And there is a purpose in your life that's probably bigger than what you can see. Just keep going step by step.
Even, talking about hiding the parts of our bodies that we don't like, you are definitely conveying a message that I'm not feeling too confident, because a confident person most likely wouldn't try to hide and wear baggy clothes and play themselves down. So that was beautifully wrapped up. Thank you so much for hanging with me today and just sharing your energy, your light, your confidence with me and the audience. And everything will be linked in the description. If you want to connect with Shaquanna, please, if you're on LinkedIn, please go find her on LinkedIn and follow her. Okay. But for now, thank you so much. And we'll continue our conversations offline.